Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. This is Caron Bailey, your ATX Stampin' Lady, and today I am here with you for a Sketchy Monday makings video. It is Tuesday. I do apologize. I had a lot going on with the yesterday, so I just wasn't able to get on. So I made sure that I'm coming to you early this morning just so I can make sure that I get you your Sketchy Monday makings. I know you're not going to be able to join me this morning because I did not let you know I was going to come live this morning. But if you do have a chance, make sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and then share and subscribe. Share this video, and then please subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. I'm going to put the sketch for today in the upper left-hand corner. You'll see it up there. Today's sketch comes courtesy of Cardztv. It's a very simple one, but I like it, and let's just dive right in to get started with the Sketchy Monday makings for the week of June 9th. All right, so here we go. As always, I went ahead and I prepared a little bit of a template for us so we could see exactly what it looks like. This is going to go into my template binder, has all of the measurements on it to include matte layers, and then where I got the sketch from. That way, if I ever do want to go back, I have where I got it, how I got it, and so on and so forth, right? So if you don't already have a binder, this is my sketchy binder. I think I've shared it with you before. So here are all of my sketches thus far that I'm working with. I do try to put them all in the binder. And then this will go in here as soon as we're done with this, right? So if you remember last week, we did, which one did we do last week? We did Mojo Monday 338. It's already in the binder, and I can pull it out whenever I need it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I've already gone ahead and cut my pieces out. I seem to be working with this, not I seem to be, I am working with the celebratory sips Celebrate Together Sweet collections this month. And almost all the projects that I'm working with this month is going to feature the Cheers and Sips, okay? Or the Sweet collection. So I've already cut my pieces, but I'm doubting my color choice. So I may end up having to redo this. Um, I may end up having to redo if I'm not quite sure of my color. So I'm working out of my comfort zone in my color palette. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's our white card base. Now I know the sketch says 4 by 5 1/4. You guys, I changed mine because I found when I went ahead and I matted all of the pieces, it didn't have quite the spacing that was shown in the sketch. So my layer is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Right? That's what I'm going to go with for my card base. And then everything else I kept the same. So I have two pieces that are 1 3/4 by 3 5/8. And then I matted both of them with this is Pretty in Pink. And this is 1 7/8 by 3 3/4. I have another piece that's 1 1/4 by 3 5/8, and that is matted with a piece of cardstock that is 1 3/8 by 3 3/4. And then we have our center piece that is 2 1/2 by 2 3/4, and this is 2 3/4 by 3. That's going to go right here. Okay, so we have all of our pieces. The only thing I'm missing, I think I'm missing, no, I'm not missing anything. I'm just going to add everything later. Okay, so let's just go ahead and assemble this card. I'm also missing a piece for the inside of the card, which would be an A2 piece, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Now, just a tip for those of you beginners, if you're folding, once you've scored your card, um, this is a side that has the groove in it. and this is the raised side. So in order to get a good fold, fold towards the raised side, and we'll call that the mountain because the mountain has a peak. So when we talk sometimes in card language, we'll tell you fold towards the mountain or fold towards the valley. So when we do this, we're going to fold towards the mountain, okay? And then always, always, always redo your folds, reburnish. Sometimes when we go ahead and we score, we sometimes get a little bit off. So always go ahead and make sure to match and make sure before you actually burnish your folds. Okay. So we're going to spend a few minutes now. All we're going to do is adhere our parts and our pieces. And here we go. And then I'm going to practice using my T ruler today. And then I have a tip that I want to share with you. I watched a video from May May. May May made it, and she created a tool, a very simple, cool tool that will help us to be us, meaning folks like me who have issues with alignment. And I'm going to share that with you in a video, but not today. Today I'm going to depend on my T ruler to do its job, I hope. Yes. All right, that's piece number 2. There's a lot that I'm trying to get done. I am going to be going on vacation this week, next week. Actually, I leave on Sunday. And I don't know about you, but every time I'm getting ready to go on vacation, I always find that there's a whole bunch of stuff that I have to have done, and the time just almost always gets away from me. So I got a lot to get done um, before I leave next week, and there's not a lot of time to get it done in. So I will try to make a quick blog for today's cards. That way you already have the measurements that they are listed in the sketch, but it will link all of the products that I used and how you can get them in my online store. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's grab our T ruler. See if I know how to use this thing, right? And I got this T ruler courtesy of Pear Blossom Press. Um, One of the things that you can see is you can see how it gives you these little dots. Oops, these little dots that are on here represent midpoints and thirds, okay? But I'm going to explain a little bit more about these once I've used the ruler myself. Now, I'm still learning how to use the T ruler, so be patient with me, okay? I dropped one of my pieces. Hold on. All right. So here we go. Now, the best way I can tell you how to use this T ruler is this, right? I like to use it in conjunction with my grid squares, right? And I make sure everything is lined up, right? And so I'm going to have about 1/8 of an inch border. And I can see that my oops, let me put that back in there. All right. I'm going to have to find my tweezers here. Yeah. Because the tweezers just helps me, if I can find them. I have them all over the place, and then I can never find them when I need them. People always ask me, why do you need so many? Well, that's why. All right. So using the T-ruler and my grids, I can see where my 1/8 inch mark is. But I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch in, right? And then 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch down. So that's where we are right there. Now the other thing you can do is once you've found your 1/8 of an inch, right, is you just put your T-ruler where that is. And you see, there we go. We are good position, right? Do the same thing on here. Line it up at the line. That's going to be on our 1/8 of an inch mark. 1/8 of an inch all the way. Oops, I went in too far. So there we go. And of course, you can always eyeball. If you're good at eyeballing, you can always eyeball. I am horrible at eyeballing. Well, I wouldn't say horrible, but I need a lot of work. I need a lot of help. There we go. And that's perfect. And then once one is in place, all you got to do is just keep an eye on it and make sure it's straight, okay? So if you're keeping track, this is about 1/8 of an inch down from the top and then 1/8 of an inch on the sides, okay? Then we want about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom as well, right? So that's why when I told you that for me, once I decided I was going to mat all of my pieces, I had to increase the size of my white matte layer to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I had to do that because in order for me to get the spacing right, I had to adjust. Okay? And nothing wrong with that. Remember, card templates are just that. They are guides. Okay? Then last, we're going to put this right in the middle. And that seems to be about 1/4 of an inch down, right? 1/4 to 1/2 an inch down from the top. Yep, it's about 1/2 an inch. Perfect. All right, so normally I would pop this up, but I'm not going to add dimensions here because the sentiments and everything I'm going to do is where I'm going to add the dimension. All right. Just try to make sure you're even on both sides and top and bottom, and that you are centered. Flip that over, and there we go. All right, let's grab some cardstock and get our sentiments stamped out and our designs. So what I'm going to do, let's put this aside for now. Let me put my little pin back in. I learned this trick. I tend to fussy cut a lot of times. I tend to fussy cut my sentiments. And one of the tricks that I just learned, I watched it on a video, is to use the outline of the stamp set. That way you're not guessing how to cut it. You already have your design and your outline, right? So using this, oops, I am just going to, let's bring this down a little bit further. I am going to trace. Okay, so I need a little help. And grab my magnets here. So this guy does not move. I don't want it to move, right? So I'm just going to grab and outline the photopolymer. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just to give yourself a little bit of an idea as to how to cut it out, right? So it does not have to be perfect. Okay. Now that you've cut it out, you're going to put it on a block. And try to make sure that you stamp inside the confounds of that piece. Where's my black ink? Grab my memento. If you see my scalp, I do apologize. All right. And now you know how to cut it out because you're inside your shape, right? All right, so the next thing I want to do, so I want to stamp out my cup. Well, I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so I'm making a lot of drinks, right? that's that's partially why I'm doing this, is because, hey, I'll be out, I'll be enjoying myself on my vacation, having several drinks, I hope. Now, for me, drinking means virgin drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. I don't really drink alcohol, but I do like the fruity drinks, though. So when I do go on vacation, I do indulge in my fruity drinks. Okay? And we're going to end up just cutting out quite a bit, stamping out a couple of these embellishments, okay? My ice cubes. Can't have a highball glass and not have ice in it, right? I'm not going to put any more. But if you know me in real life, that glass would be filled to the rim with ice, right? And then we're going to cut out some of the other items. Just give me a second here. My snips. You see, because we have the base outline of what our stamp should be, fussy cutting is not a big deal because we're following the shape of the outline that we just cut out. let's grab our eraser. Get rid of our pencil marks.
This is a reminder. Take out food scraps.
Oh, our helpful little Alexa girl always helps us. All right, so there we go. Our sentiment is done. And guys, there are dies for these. Again, most of the times, especially with simple images, whether there's a die or not, I will often fussy cut it. I think fussy cutting is very simple, very easy. And again, I do apologize, guys, for not being here last night. I just had a lot, and I didn't have the time to even come on and let you guys know that I would be coming on later. It was just pretty hectic yesterday. All right. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and move some of this stuff out of the way. Let's color our drink. What do we want to drink? We're gonna go with strawberry slush. That sounds like a drink, doesn't it? It does. It sounds like a drink. Strawberry slush. So that's the colors I'm gonna use for my drink today. Mhm. I started with the light strawberry slush. Then I'm gonna grab my the dark. I'm gonna go in with the light. Pull some of that darkness out. Have a nice blend. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab the light petal pink. Pretty in pink. Sorry, not petal pink. Probably should grab the dark too. I'm gonna grab the dark. And then our light. Got a little bit of a tropical drink going on there, right? But we always want some nice fruity things. Let's see. We got an olive in our drink. We got a cherry in our drink. All right. Always put our cherry in there. You know, with a cherry on top. Gotta have our umbrella, right? What's the point of a fruity drink without an umbrella in it, right? Mm, and what do we want down here? I'm not sure. All right, so you can cut. Oh, we also need one more thing here, our little straw. Need our little straw. At least that's what I'm calling that, is a straw, right? Maybe it's a stem for our umbrella. Again, all of these have dies. I'm going to fussy cut them. Just fun. I hadn't thought about the coloring part of this, so I'm just kind of going with the flow. You can pull colors that you see in the designer series paper, or you can go totally rogue and do your own thing. So one of the things I want to do is make sure I add just a little bit of definition here on there, like that. I'm going to cut our what is it? Parasol? Parasol, that's what it's called. It's a parasol. A parasol with our umbrella or stem right here. Oh, I know what that is. This is not a stem. We're going to use it as such. But this is for the skewer for the olive. Ha! But you can use it any way you wish, and I think that's what I'm going to use here. I may not even need it, but better to have it than not, right? Because if we put this here, right? Looks like a little umbrella, right? Okay, so that's what we are going to do. I am going to do. So let's put the little dab will do ya. Right, like that. And then we want our parasol kind of be at an angle like so, right? See how that works? Just like that. Then we've got our cherry. Ouch. But I think I'm going to call this a Shirley Temple. What do you think? Right? Shirley Temple has what? I think it's just grenadine and Sprite or ginger ale, right? Then you add a couple of cherries in there, make it look like a drink. So this is my little Shirley Temple today. The scrap I found was a pretty much thick basic white, so it doesn't turn as easy when you're fussy cutting. Would definitely use lighter weight cardstock for fussy cutting. Not that you can't use the heavier weight, just easier manipulation with the lighter weight cardstock for fussy cutting. And then I'm going to go on the reverse of what I normally teach about fussy cutting. There you go. And we're just going to adhere our friend. Perfect. All right, let's get this card finished today. So now we're just going to add our drink and our sentiment and call our card complete. Okay. Grab some dimensionals. These are our minis. I don't want the mini ones. I would use really a lot of them. How many dimensionals do you think I'm going to use on this project? So here's an ode to my trip. Okay, I think that'll work. But normally, well, no, that's not normally. I'm going to do it. I just literally do not like, if there's a space that can have a dimensional, it's going to have one. It just is. I know, it's not necessary, but sometimes necessity is not always the mother of invention, right? just can't deal with the sag. I can't, not with these projects that I do, which is why I end up using so many. And then we're gonna go add a little bit of shine once this is adhered, once the card is finished, because it's gonna have to dry. There we go. Put this on here. And let's grab our cup, like that. Add our sentiment. Oh, let's put it down here. I'm not sure. What do you think? Up here or down here? Well, I mean, this is our focal area, so everything will be focused up here, right? Let's do that. Looks kind of straight to me. Put that in place. So now we're done with that. All right, let's go ahead and get this affixed. I was worried about the using that pink, because pink is not a color that I use a lot of. And then I'm going to turn it. Remember, our border is smaller because this is a 4 1/8 inch by 5 3/8 inch panel. There we go. There we go. Just slide things around until you get them in place. Awesome. Guys, if there's anything that you see that I've used in my projects today to create Cardztv sketch, please don't look at the top bar scrolling. You'll see how to contact me. You'll also find that information in the description box. So if you have any questions about any of the products that I used, or if you'd like to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, whether it be hobby or business demonstrator, I would love to have a conversation with you. Now, the final things that I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use the Stampin' Up! Fine Tip Glue, and I'm just going to add some dimension and shine to my, so I'm going to make these look like ice cubes and give them a little bit of depth and dimension. I'm going to do the same thing to the glass, but I'm going to let everything dry first, the ice cubes dry first, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the glass. So you'll see that it has like a glass sheen to it. Okay. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to let that dry. Then I'm going to go back in once it's dried. Can you see the detail on that glass? So see the ice looks like that. So once it's dried, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the glass. So the glass will also have that same tint and shine. You guys, we are done with our sketch. I believe I'm pretty close to what it looks like. And here's my template that I'm going to put right back into my template sketch folder. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this evening's card. Don't forget to join. I won't be here next week. I will be on vacation, but I might have a little surprise for you anyway. So if you haven't already, go ahead and click that notification bell, and that way you'll be notified every time there's something, a new content has been added or uploaded to the channel. Guys, thanks for stopping by today. I am Caron Bailey, your ATX Stampin' Lady, and I'll see you on the other side.